The Mind Buzz, now partnered with Grito Industries.
The Mind Buzz.
Let's go. What is up, Mind Buzz Universe? Welcome back to another podcast episode of The Mind Buzz. I am your host, Gil, and working the board this beautiful evening is the beautiful Amber. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
What's up?
Oh, thank you for that compliment. Just kidding.
You're welcome.
Aloha. No,
You're welcome. How you doing?
I'm good. It's a little hot, but I'm good.
It's okay. It's crazy how like the rest of the summer previously was just fine, and then all of a sudden, at the end of August, it
It's
gets
hot.
crazy.
I know.
It's
I
global
think it's
warming.
going to be hot all the way up to October.
It's global warming, believe it or not.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
So start recycling. It was all that hairspray they wore in the 80s.
That's what it was. It was the hairspray in the 80s.
The
It was
Aquanet.
people. It was all the Rolling Rock we drank in college during the college years. If you haven't listened to the latest episode before this one, go check it out because it is wild and it's getting people wild. So go watch it because it's fun. Right?
Yes, that's all I'm going to comment. Yes.
That's it. That's all we're going to say.
That's all I'm going to give it. A yes.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up and a like and a comment.
Oh, wait, they can't see me.
Okay.
They can only hear how annoying my voice is.
It's a beautiful voice.
Thank
I don't
you.
care what anybody says.
Thank you.
All right. So we get that out of the way. So let's
Yeah.
get into today's guest. I'm very excited to talk to this gentleman and hear about all the cool stuff he does. Please give it up for Rafael Fernandez.
Hey, bro, what an intro! The whole Mind Buzz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got people dancing right before the game.
We got to get you hyped.
I mean, if you notice my head, this was the hairspray in the '80s, so that's the reason it's like that now. So
So you're the global warming.
I'm the global warming. We caused
Híjole.
that.
Part of it.
All the
Part of
Jerry
it.
curls, the Soul Glow. We did a. It was all a part of that generation. I'm for. Oof. We don't know.
So how you doing? Thanks for coming out and doing the podcast. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I've only been here for like 5 minutes, but the conversation you guys had, that was it. We don't have to even go any further.
Maybe we can
global
get
warming
maybe we can get into a little bit of how you were in the 80s, maybe.
Oh, that was,
the-
it was,
Your Jerry
first of all,
curls.
thank you for having me because this is really cool. Glad to be on a podcast. It's an amazing podcast from just listening in. And so, the 80s were the best generation in history. I don't care who wants to argue that.
Isn't it funny how like whatever generation you grew up in, that's always the best?
For some, they will never. I've gone through like the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, 2010s. Now we're in the 2020s. Every single person says the 80s is the best.
Oh yeah?
They always go back. Yeah, I mean that. Even the people from the 90s were like, I wish I was born in the 80s. It's just we had the best things ever. Like Atari started then. Like, we went into the video game generation when it first started. We started arcades. We started, all the different, like the bikes. Like, I don't know if anybody saw those stupid elephant ear bikes. Like, I mean, we just had it all.
Was there there was computers like
There were, but
going
it wasn't,
around, right? But it wasn't.
They weren't like now. Like
It wasn't the internet. It was like
Yeah.
a computer. What a
It was-
computer was made to do, not the internet.
Yeah. Computers back then were just to type and to play like dot-looking games. Like, I think the coolest game that I ever played on a computer, and it was like when you turn it on, it was like, and it made just noises until a little icon came up. You'd put a floppy disk in there. For those people who don't know what a floppy disk is, it's like your versions of a cartridge that goes in. it's
Like a SIM card.
yeah, it's like a SIM card, but it was.
I don't
like,
even think kids know what a SIM card is. Not even a USB, because they don't even use USBs
Everything's
anymore.
a cloud now.
It's all
Yeah.
cloud storage.
It's to better give you the description. It's what like a DVD is or like a CD is when you're trying to install it, even though games are downloaded now. But that's what a floppy disk. And the best game was Battle Chess, and it was the most interesting.
Pull up Battle
game.
Chess. I want to see this. Pull
Battle
it up.
Chess. I don't even know what year it's from. Battle Chess. I think it was from the 80s.
Battle Chess 1980s, or just put Battle Chess video games. I'm pretty sure
it that
that'll
one?
come up.
I think that's the one.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah,
That
Yeah, it
looks-
looks like an 80s.
Oh, that looks cool. Go to images.
it was cool. Look at that.
That person looks like
And it was one of those games that was like state of the art
uh-huh.
because it was.
It looks pretty state of the art for
I mean, they whooped each other's asses every single time you moved. So
Wait, right? And then you can like cut the heads off or something once you got to the
like
end.
the sword
yeah,
and everything.
I
mean,
do
I don't remember the head.
Okay, I
cutting,
remember the heads, but I remember
it's probably because I sucked
something.
at chess.
you
So,
downloaded the
know,
wrong Battle Chess,
Yeah.
Amber. I think.
She got that Final
Mine was
Destination
the
version.
streets one.
Yeah.
But then again, she's talking about the end game, which means she must have been able to win because I suck at chess. So I was playing that game just to see how good I would be.
So it was a chess based game. You had to know how to play
you gotta
chess.
play chess. Yeah, it's
Oh,
real
so
chess.
okay.
So you remember what is it? Harry Potter
Yes.
when Weasley's playing the chess.
Right.
That's literally like that.
Oh.
The 1980s.
Whoa. So that's where she got it from.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's. I can't confirm or deny that.
Well, my parents were teenagers in the 80s, so a lot of things.
Oh, so they had more fun than I did because I was a kid in the 80s. I was like 10 years old in 1985, but I was playing arcades.
Oh
until-
no, my mom was having my sister in 1985.
Yeah, no.
But she was 15, so she's not too far behind you. She was a kid.
Teenagers had a blast in the 80s.
Yeah.
Teenagers had a blast.
My parents say that it was like the best time ever. But again, I mean, I could say for me, I could be like, oh, the 90s were amazing.
But it's because you didn't go through the 80s.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
if
you're right.
If that's the thing is a lot of people from different generations will say it because music changed during that time. Video game era, a lot of toy era. There was just
true.
movies were different. Saturday Supercade, like all the cool cartoons that took place. When you woke up at 7:00 in the morning on a Saturday, you were there until like 1:00 in the afternoon. They were putting out cartoons all morning.
How I see the 80s is a little better version of the 90s and less sad.
Oh no, 90s was miserable.
For
I mean,
some
you're
reason.
talking about that Kurt Cobain era. Like, no,
Right.
it's just emo kick.
At least I think when I think of 90s, I think of that
yeah.
era of the 90s, like the grunge punk rock.
You guys got
era.
emo in 95 after that took over after rap became the number one music genre in the entire planet.
Oh, after rap.
Yeah.
Hip hop.
Because before that it was hair metal
Yeah.
and that was like the Bon Jovis and the Poison
Right.
and then rap came out and then you had East Coast versus West Coast type deal. And then, through a small crack is where emo came in, the Kurt Cobains, the
grunge
Blink 182.
the grunge music
Yeah.
of the 90s.
Yeah.
Man, what it must have been like to grow up in like the birth of like a new genre that nobody has ever listened to ever on the history of the planet. And hip hop, imagine growing up like, and there's like a new burst of music and everybody's just like, what the heck is this?
Yeah,
What is this?
It became popular because of the whole feud and all kinds. Because hip hop was around forever, like
Right.
especially on the East Coast. We had it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You're from, so
I'm
where are
from-
you from exactly?
I'm from Patterson, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah,
Wow.
so we're like
Okay.
I don't know, 15 minutes away from New York City. So it's pretty connected.
So did you go to New York often when you were?
I have
You're
family
gonna-
there.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of time like, going to the different buildings and all kinds of stuff where my family lived. But the majority of my family was in that Patterson or Passaic, New Jersey.
So where's Patterson?
God, you're gonna make me sound like those guys. It's on Exit. No, just kidding. No, it's off of Route 80. It's probably one of the most recognized cities. Like there was a lot of like really cool stores like Woolworth and stuff like that. But yeah, if you go 80 south from New York, you'll eventually run into Patterson. That's one of the biggest, and it was one of the biggest cities.
So it's pretty close to.
Yeah, if you have traffic, it might be a little longer, but if you have no traffic from New York to Patterson, it's probably gonna take you like 30 minutes.
So probably like here to downtown Los Angeles.
Probably.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty close.
It is for the most part. Yeah.
That's really close. And how did you liked it?
I mean, I was really young when we were in Patterson. I was there until about 9. So my recollection of Patterson is a lot better than what it actually was, because there were sections of Patterson that were just terrible.
Right.
So my mom did her best trying to keep us in a safer part of it. Throughout the years, Patterson just kind of de-escalated. And then they tried to rejuvenate it with malls and so forth, but it's still at that era where like you just got to be careful where you go. Very similar to LA.
Yeah.
Like you got to just be careful where you go.
So you came to California at 9 years old?
No. We went all over the place. So my family, my parents were born in Dominican Republic and in Puerto Rico. So Patterson was kind of like the place everybody kind of, aside from New York, kind of like the place everybody went if you were like Puerto Rican, Dominican. And at 9, we were sent to Dominican Republic to live 2 years with my grandmother. And that was a shocker in general, but it was the first time I got to experience my culture at its fullest. Playing outside, playing baseball. Baseball is the Dominican sport, so you're always out there. And then when we came back to Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, which is an all-white town. I experienced a lot of discrimination there. Some of it wasn't racial. It was just I was the new kid, and like every other TV show, they're gonna pick on the young guy until they don't, for other reasons. And then from there, we all kind of ventured into Miami because my family migrates like bees. I went to the military, so I spent some time in Norfolk, Virginia. And then when I got out of there, I started having my kids. We went back to Ridgefield Park because I wanted a safer place for them to live in. They all graduated, and I started my podcast, and we started, working in digital media. And so we kind of moved to LA to kind of increase on that. Ironically, we came here during the worst time of COVID. So we were all locked up like everybody else.
I feel like
it was great.
During the pandemic?
Yeah. Oh, God.
I feel like during the pandemic, there was like a second boom in digital media. Do you agree with that?
I think every podcast that's popular now probably came out of the pandemic.
Right.
I think a lot of their audience and their fans, I know we did. We started that 5 years ago, and it was just a simple podcast. We were just talking about bad dating advice and all kinds of stuff throughout the day, giving COVID, but everybody was home.
Yeah.
So that's where you got all your followers, because nobody had anything, or everybody had nothing else to do. They couldn't go out. They couldn't do this.
Besides be on their phone, watch a special
or listen to stuff,
or listen to something,
catch
or
a
read
live
something.
Stream.
Yeah.
So that's where we got our popularity. Once we got out of COVID, then we started kind of venturing into a lot of what we did from a digital media standpoint, which was like interviews and red carpets and things like that. So, but yeah.
So what exactly is like what you guys do?
So Todo Wafi is a digital media company that focuses on showcasing underrepresented voices within the Latino community. We started that through the podcast. We continued that through interviews. We spend a lot of time going to red carpets, partnerships with Netflix, Warner Brothers, and we kind of elevated that. We've had magazines that we've put out, just showcasing Latino culture. We have 1.2 million followers across social media platforms, everything from We're All Primos, Something Latina, Something Latino. So there's quite a few different avenues that we use to kind of share culture, whether it's through funny memes or whether it's through news. And yeah, so we spend a lot of time doing that through the Todo Wafi platform. And then, we now have the event that we produced, the Revolucion.
Todo Wafi?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I never pulled it up on there. Awesome. Primo shows. Sweet. So how important do you think it is to have something like this? Like a platform?
I mean, I think in our case, it's extremely important because we don't focus a lot on the celebrity side. Even though we do push the news out there, I think in our case, we're trying to get the community aspect of it. Really focus on the everyday person, the everyday Latino who's trying to get recognition or trying to just get kind of representation where they couldn't get it somewhere else. So for me, I think that's invaluable because you spend a lot of time meeting new people, listening to their stories, trying to figure out how to elevate them. Sometimes it's complicated, depending on how hard the task is. But we do a lot in partnerships and relationships, and that's kind of what helps us grow.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. So
this is all you do?
Yeah, this is all I do.
Yeah.
All day.
That's awesome.
So we have a couple people that we have that volunteer or work part-time or work on what do they call that? What's the word for it? When you're working as a
like an internship?
Not an internship. Although we do have internships that we've actually worked on.
That's what I need. I need an intern.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of it.
It'll come to you.
Give us some.
It'll come up to it. Yeah, I don't even know what hint to give because it's not coming out of my mouth. But
you invented it. It's fine.
Yeah. No. So yeah, these are all. We'll just call them collaborators for now.
Okay.
So contractors. That's it.
There we go.
So independent contractors. We got a lot of people who do different things for us, and yeah. So we're really excited about where we're heading. We now get our studio back. We now get our show back. So that's going to start in September. And so we're really excited about the progress.
Did you think that it was going to be something like this when you first started?
Nah, because I'm a computer geek.
It's been 5 years?
Yeah, about 5 years. Before that, I spent my entire life developing websites, doing computer work. I was a cubicle baby, so I literally sat in front of my computer the entire time.
So you're used to being in front of a computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wasn't used to being a host or being able to come up with programming or things like that. And, it's things that I fell in love with once I started. It was my cousin that kind of pushed me into it. She saw me on social media just complaining to people all the time and debating them about different things. And it was her idea that I should kind of, micro-focus that on the podcast. So it's done pretty well, but I couldn't have imagined that it, would get to where it is now.
Is that the first time you heard the word podcast?
Oh yeah. I didn't listen to podcasts. I still don't. I listen to a few of them.
Yeah.
Aside from that, there are people who like regurgitate Joe Rogan and a lot of the different podcasts.
Religiously listen to podcasts.
I don't even like listening to the ones that we put out.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'll record them, we'll put them out there, and once we edit them, how did they do? That's all I care about. I don't want to listen to myself talk. That's just not my deal.
I know you listen to yourself talk like 24/7.
I mean, I try not to. that would be dangerous for my mental health. If my mind came out of my mouth, oh my God, I'd be in trouble.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I'm unapologetic. So I know my.
You know
team
what? Sometimes you have to be.
I think we spend a lot of time. I think in the society that we live in now, I think people are too kind of kept because they're afraid of what the reception is going to be from that.
Right.
But I also think that if you don't, you're not exactly giving the authentic version of yourself.
Right. Exactly.
So,
Rafa, imagine a world where we can read other people's minds and they can read our minds.
Do you want that?
How nicer it would be. No?
I mean, I don't know. I think people would then not think because they're afraid of what somebody else might receive or how they might receive it.
But you don't think that maybe, because I'm thinking about that right now, is maybe our perception or even our like shift in mindset would change, because it'd be like, okay, I don't want people to think that, like, or people to know that I'm thinking so negatively, so let me shift it over. Or are you not? I guess then you wouldn't be your authentic self, right?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm upset that day, to not allow myself to be upset that day because somebody's reading my mind to where I can't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the one true thing that we have, is being able to bitch at life within our own head.
Mhm.
So imagine going into a room where you're just like, you're not feeling it that day. And you're just like, man, I don't really want to talk to these people and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, when in essence, the conversation may be great. You just came into that mentality. You automatically put that other person in a negative light without even having the first word
Right.
said. So that for me would just be kind of like, I wouldn't be like that, because there are moments where I walk into a situation and I, just don't feel good about it, but I feel good about it as we go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where you're like, I don't want to go. You go, and then you leave, and you're like, damn, that was fun. I'm glad I ended up going, type of thing.
So if you insult somebody, like right off the bat, before you even get to that point, you never get that moment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just me. There are people who, want to have that moment where they can turn around and read, because then, okay, well, now I know how I can treat this person because I know that they're going through this thing. But I feel like the spontaneousness of humanity is kind of what makes us
Right.
able to communicate and learn how to communicate with each other. Because if I knew everything that you guys were saying,
Mhm.
I wouldn't have to think twice about how to approach you guys.
True.
You know what I mean? Whereas I have to learn you guys if I don't. And that's the beauty of communication,
Right.
at least for me. I don't know. Maybe I could be, that'd be a poll. Somebody put up a poll, read in the comments. What do you think?
I think we're looking at it from our perspective of not reading minds for never in the history of humanity. So I think our perception of it is a little bit different. But I think maybe it could adjust and change over like 100 years.
Maybe. I mean, look, maybe you two are right. Like, maybe people will be more careful with how they interact. Me personally, I think somebody who spends the time not caring what other people think will probably get a lot more accomplished in the long run, because they're not having to be strapped mentally,
So, but where does the line come from? I guess you could still not care what people think, but still be compassionate.
Oh, no,
right?
of course.
Because I think sometimes at least for me, like my perception of someone that doesn't care, like it stems from, and maybe it's just like me jumping the gun, but I think like someone that's like, I don't care, I'm gonna say whatever the heck I want. To me, I'm like, are you gonna be reckless and hurt someone, or are you like, so you know what I'm trying to say?
You have to be, look, you always have to lead with empathy. There's no way for you to turn around. I mean, you can't just go out and say whatever the hell you want. Like, it just doesn't work that way. But what I mean by that is, if I, for instance, feel strongly about something, especially when it comes to human rights or even my culture or this and that, like, I'm not going to be apologetic to somebody else just because of the fact that they don't understand me.
Yeah.
Now I'm never going to lead with anger, when it comes to that situation, or I'm never going to lead with like, what do you call that? Misunderstanding. Or my overall goal with every conversation I have with somebody is to create a brother or sister. So I never lead, unless they bring out the East Coast out of me, and LA does. My production manager, he's here. He knows LA will tear my shit up, because I'm an East Coast guy. I'm very like to the point. See, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do something. Like, you got my 100% attention, no matter what I have going on through the thing. And yeah, that's where me in LA, we just don't vibe like that. People are too distracted here. They got way too much going on. So it's like, it's tough for me. And that's when I I'm not going to be apologetic for the way I am,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course not. I don't think anybody should.
Well, you'd be surprised how many people are. They just, the minute something comes out of their mouth that offends somebody else, that they shouldn't even be offended by, and they're automatically apologizing before the other person has even understood.
Yeah, that's true. They probably say it because they know it's wrong, but they just need to get it out of their mind or their mouth.
Yeah. I mean, like
For
she
some
said,
reason.
never lead in with pain. Like, I think that if you know your words are going to hurt somebody, you know, unless you're doing it in a constructive way, or like it has something to do with you're close with that person or something like that, and they understand where you're coming from. But, you know, leading up to somebody and being like, hey, you know, just eating somebody up.
So
Of
do you
course.
think like
There's ways to do it.
Yeah. Do you think like you starting these platforms online, like, is that an extension of you like wanting to get your point out there and trying to connect with like other people within your culture and things like that? Like where did that kind of stem from?
I mean, it did, and here's why. I spent my entire life, with the exception of the time that I was with my family at a younger age, assimilating from Latino communities, just because I had to raise my kids in areas that really didn't have a lot of Latino culture around it. And it wasn't until probably around the age of like early 30s that I turned around and came back and said, damn, I'm like, there's a bunch of stuff missing in my life that just doesn't make sense. I feel like empty inside of it. And my mom, at the same time, my grandfather was passing away. It was one of those times where she wanted to say her last words. And so I took that opportunity to take my family. We had just worked really hard on a project. I took my family to the Dominican Republic, gave ourselves like 3 days rest before we dealt with that situation. But my kids got to experience, their culture from the Dominican side. And it was the first time I had been in DR since for like 38 years, I think. And it was the same with Puerto Rico. I hadn't visited Puerto Rico because it was from my dad's side of the family, and he's like Voldemort. We don't talk about him. And it wasn't until my daughter gifted me a trip to Puerto Rico that I really got connected with, my Puerto Rican roots. So for me, I have a different angle from Latinidad from somebody who's like been around it the entire life. Like they're attached to it. I'm always a student before I'm a teacher. And our accounts really cover a lot of that. We're very inclusive, very accepting. For me, having somebody understand that, you guys have this thing about the no sabo kid, and I don't care about that. Like, if you're Latino, you are a part of this community. We are going to treat you like you're a part of this community. You are welcome into this community. And it's the same for people who are learning their culture, who don't understand a lot of it. We do our best to kind of showcase that through all of our different posts, and, whether it's stereotypical or whether it's news, it always gives a little bit of information, that somebody can take away from that day. So it's definitely an extension of that, because I'm still learning a lot about history and music and even food. And that's why we're using the platform, is to kind of resonate what I'm going through, because I know there's somebody there who's going through the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's like, so, I mean, we say it a lot of times, but you don't know. But Gil's I think he's like 3rd or 4th generation here.
At this point, I think I'm like 5th or 6th.
That's
I
okay.
really don't know.
You don't know? I mean, you don't know.
Could be. I don't know.
How far back do your people go? Like
Pretty far back.
Pretty far back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's like, we did the ancestry on him one time because I was like, I'm 1st generation. And I was like, well, where's your family from? And he's like, I don't know, from here. And then I asked his aunt one time, and I was like, where are you guys from? And she's like, we're from East LA. And I'm like, no, you're not. Like, where are you from? Like, where are your roots from?
Oh, so you don't know your inception, like
No.
where, who crossed over and
No, but I took that DNA, ancestrodna.com test thing, and it came back that I was 80% indigenous Mexican. And then we from Guanajuato, Mexico, and then I think we looked at it again in like 6 or 7 months, and then it came up like 70%. So it's staying.
It's staying within the
right.
same.
So it's staying at 70% now. I mean, it could change as they get more
You're
data.
morphing.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it has more
I'm
data.
I'm getting more. I'm getting light skinned.
He's getting more.
I know.
What is
Yeah.
the term for that? Nopal
Hey.
or whatever they
Yeah.
call it. He's turning more nopal as he goes.
He's getting more European.
If my credit score gets better
that's how you know.
as we get on,
That brother goes into the 50% mark, and once he gets to 40, his credit goes to like
Yeah,
735.
there you go.
Yeah. there you
if
go.
my food starts tasting bad, we're good.
Nah.
We're getting there.
No.
No está salado.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
it's missing the seasoning.
But-
Sometimes he tells me it's a little too
But
seasoned.
it is. But we won't go there.
I can. I have to have seasoned food. I'm sorry.
So this is my theory on that, right? I think I could be 70%. This is just my theory. 70% indigenous Mexican, but I say that I'm that high amount of indigenous because, and I always use this term. You know, you've heard the term of like, oh, like I didn't cross the border crossed me, right? 1800s, this California was Mexico. It was northern Mexico.
Yep.
So I think my lineage was here. So it was still technically Mexico. Does that make sense?
I know what you're saying,
Right.
but you got to find out who made the shift.
Right.
Like there's got to be, if you go deep in your roots, you'll know like who came first.
Right.
Like whether it was those original settlers, or if you came, later on.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you not knowing whether you're third or
Yeah.
second or fifth generation.
No, it's closer to like third or fourth. It's something like third or fourth.
Yeah, because his dad still spoke Spanish. The dad was born here, but he still kind of,
think.
I mean, maybe you are from those original first settlers.
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, because you have a strong indigenous
Look.
No, like the background. Nice.
I know I do. I look like one of those heads, those round heads.
No, we went to a
Statue.
Yeah.
we went to
I
to
do.
an
That's
event.
hilarious, man.
We went to an event and they had like an Olmec like head,
The Olmec. There we go.
and then I was like, oh, why do I know this face? And then he goes, he's like, take me a picture, and then we looked at the picture and I was like, dang.
And this was back when I didn't have hair. I was bald
yeah, he
too.
was bald too.
Yeah.
Dude, you had me dying there.
Yeah.
Because I immediately after I said it, I pictured it. So it was like, like I knew what you were talking about, and I'm like,
We need to get one of those things and put them in
side by
there.
side. Just put it
Yeah.
right here.
Where is it?
That's hilarious.
If I ever get sick on a show day, you can just bring one
Oh
of those
my
Olmec
God.
statues in here to do the show.
Well, what I was getting at with this, with him being several generations, is that when we got together, we noticed that we're both Mexican, but we were both very different.
We're different Mexican.
within our culture,
Yeah.
like, and even within like the way we were brought up, some of the things we ate, like things like that, and we went through this, like, I don't want to say like identity crisis, right? But because
It was
it
was a crisis.
yeah, I guess for you it was an identity crisis because
I think for both of us. No?
yeah
He's like, no, more you than me.
more you than
I'm
Well,
not
yeah,
gonna-
it was.
I'm not gonna admit it anyways.
And the reason is because we started coming was when we were doing the podcast, started coming around just other people.
More content creators that were basically doing the same thing we were doing, but they were Mexican, but it was I was like, "Oh, okay, there's different type of like Latino content creators."
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, because he always said, oh, like I'm Chicano, and I was like, I don't identify as Chicana, like I don't, I just
Prior
I'm
to that, I've always said that I was, if somebody asked me, "Are you Mexican? Are you Latino?" I'm like, "No, I'm Chicano." I didn't know what Chicano was. I just told them that I was that
You were
because
Chicano?
yeah.
And then I would just be like, I'm Mexican, and he's like, well, what's the difference? And then we started kind of like again, we were going around, other people within media and things like that were identifying as Chicano, and then we're like, well, yes and no, like we do fit certain types, right? But then we don't fit the stereotype. Like we're not the cholos, we're not the like, you know what I mean? Like what somebody thinks of a Chicano, like that's not us. Like we like punk music and rockabilly and psychobilly, and then I like norteños, and it's just this whole thing. And we did go through an identity crisis as like a couple because, you know, we were like, well, what are we? Who do we fit in with, or where do we, you know, kind of fall in with all of this? And then we just decided we're like, well, nowhere, and that's okay. Like,
I think that's the realization that a lot of people need to start coming to, because we do our best to kind of divide everybody and compartmentalize. And the thing is, it's like you don't have to fit any specific type of thing in order for you to be considered a Latino. Like that's our biggest. I've had this argument with so many different people because they're just like, yeah, but you have to know that. I'm like, no, you really don't. Like you can learn it, and you're still Latino. Like it doesn't change. Like you're either born in your home country or you are a descendant of somebody who was. So I had no idea. Like I always thought I was like second gen or whatever. No, I'm first gen, which puts me in a different category than what I completely thought my entire life. You know, my mom came from the Dominican Republic with my grandmother and my uncle and stuff like that. And I was one of the first ones to be born here in the United States. My cousins were all born in outside the country. I had very few of us were born like in the United States. So, you know, their path to citizenship was completely different back in the 70s and the 80s than it is now. And so it just, for me, it's a learning curve especially here in LA, you know, with everything that's taking place now with the raids and stuff like, it's the first time I've ever seen anything like that. So because on the East Coast, it's not as prevalent. You know, our identity isn't attached to a lot of what's taking place in those areas.
Like currently, it's the difference like now or in the 70s and 80s?
I mean, it's a difference now and then.
Right.
Because New Jersey doesn't have a lot. Like, we have warehouses, and you have a lot of undocumented workers maybe working there or something like that. But we don't have the fields and all these different things like California and Texas and a lot of these different places have. So it's a different environment. So you're not going to see in Paterson, New Jersey, the type of raid that you would see, you know, here on LA News type of different thing. And so all of that is new. Now, obviously, today's game is just completely different. What we're seeing now is almost militarized. But, you know, even then, we didn't see those type of issues like what LA and countries like, or states like Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, that the way they see it.
Yeah.
So it's a learning. Even for me, I'm still learning as I'm trying to create spaces for our own people and create tables and chairs and so forth for all of us to be able to sit down. You know, I'm always open ears because you just never know where you're going to learn something new.
Yeah, that's very true.
I'm at the point where like it's not like I don't care, but it's like I am who I am. Like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Like,
nobody should be judging you for
right?
it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who the hell are they?
But I'm still searching for my family.
Yeah. And that's amazing. Like,
where you guys been?
It's like wherever you are. You know, I think that's important. But I think we have a group of people that we're always built to put somebody else down because they're just not Latino enough.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like there's like light-skinned Mexicans that get torn up for, you know, having colonized or this and like, I don't know. I never partaked in that.
I've only had a few people call me a pocho. I maybe like once or twice from like.
Pocho's what? That's an Americanized version, like a
like a whitewash.
Like a whitewash Latino, yeah.
Mexican.
Right.
See, I could never in
but
my
like
lifetime.
they seem like very like they were using it as like a derogatory term.
Well, is it never? I mean, is it ever used as a non?
Well, it's what does it mean? It means
it's
like spoiled, right?
No, it just said it means
it's like a whitewash.
Like a whitewash.
Like you're not one of us type deal. You're a different kind of Latino.
But what is the word that means spoiled?
Oh, chiquiado.
No, there's something else. No, I thought it was pocho. No.
No.
I mean, it could mean a couple of things. I don't know.
No, I mean the way we use it is like whitewash. Like you're like you don't speak Spanish.
Oh, come to me.
Do you speak Spanish?
Not really.
Oh, see, so you're gonna get hammered. Like,
Right.
Just here in California, you're gonna get hammered, or
Right.
on social media. And my Spanish is terrible, just because I got Puerto Rican, Dominican Spanish. Like that shit ain't. Gonna
And
come
that's
out
another
normal.
thing too. There's so many different types of Spanish.
Hey,
I never knew that either.
They're gonna call me one day for an interview on Telemundo and Univision, and I'm gonna look like the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. Like, because I'm gonna be there talking Spanglish, the words that I can't figure out in my head right off the bat, because they speak like editorial Spanish.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, licenciado," and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like,
We-
no, I
Do
gotta
they
get
speak like the Castellano Spanish or is it like Mexican Spanish?
I think they speak Spain Spanish. Like, I think for
Castellano.
them, it's very like collegiate
Yeah.
type Spanish. I'm not at that level.
We had one time for the coffee shop at the top. It was around the time where we first opened and we kind of went viral and we were so Despierta America was like, hey, we want to interview you guys and come to the coffee shop and so we're like, okay, and they told my sister, you remember that? You were there, huh? So they told my sister, who's gonna talk, and usually I would give like the Spanish interviews, and my sister's like, I want to do it, and I was like, okay, it's a big deal, like So they're like setting up, and it's like I don't know, like 3 a.m. here because over there it's really early, and then they're doing my sister's makeup, so she's in the chair, and they bring like their makeup artist, and they're doing, and then so I'm there like running, like not lines, but like telling her pretty much like this, and then she's like repeating it in Spanish, and she's like, okay, so I have to say it like this, and I'm like, yes, and then the producer was like, wait, it was this lady, she came a little bit later. And then she's like, what did you say? She told my sister. And then my sister's like, oh. And she repeated it in Spanish. And then she's like, what did you say? And she pointed at me. And then I was like, I said it again. And I said it in Spanish. And she's like, no, I'm sorry. You can't be on TV. She told my sister. And
Wow.
my sister was like, oh, okay. And she's like, sorry, your sister's going to have to do it. And I was like, no, like, I'm not. Like, I don't want to do it. I just came to support and, And she's like, no, you have to do it. And I was like, oh, I didn't even like do my hair. I didn't like
Why?
anything.
It's because you did it correctly
because
or
my
something?
Spanish is a
Was
lot better than
Yeah.
my sister's. I grew up going to Ensenada, Mexico, like every summer, everything. So like a fuerzas, I had to learn like proper Spanish. So my Spanish is a lot better than my sister's. And they bumped my sister off, and I'm like, I am so sorry. Like, I did not do this on purpose. Like, and she's like, I know you didn't. So I had to go on Despierta America, and I did the interview in Spanish. And they did not want her because she spoke like Spanglish
broken Spanish, yeah.
and a little bit of broken. Like,
I'm gonna have to get a representative to do that for me. So maybe I'll just bring you on the.
okay.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that. Just
I'll just bring. Who's that? She's just a person we met from the podcast. But she speaks a lot better Spanish than I do, and we just thought the representation would just be a lot better.
Or just start practicing now.
I got like a week.
Oh.
We're going full publicity mode for Rev, and they're gonna start booking us for like different
Like shows and stuff.
different shows and stuff like that. And I already told them, I was like, I have a different rep when we go into like the Spanish shows, unless that show is gonna be a lot more open to the fact that I speak broken Spanish.
Yeah.
so what is Rev?
So Rev was a concept that I came up with that really pissed people off. Because I had gone to
I like it already.
Yeah. I went to like a few like Hispanic Heritage Month events. It was just when I was starting to learn, like I didn't know what Hispanic Heritage Month was. It's it's from Central, like it derived from Central American countries and so forth. And so or that's the reason Lyndon Johnson did it. But for me, it's not a big deal. And when I was growing up, like we didn't celebrate it or anything like that. And so after realizing that this is like a holiday, like we get a whole month to celebrate our culture, I was like, let me learn about it. So I went to a few panels and I was really disappointed because for me, Latinidad is a lot different than just specific looking people or people from just a specific stature or that had all similar lifestyles. So I don't want to go into a panel and just listen to a bunch of people who are already disconnected from the community. Like they live a different life. They, you can look up to those people, but there was no diversity in the panel. Everybody looked the same, all like Blanquito Latinos and stuff like that. And the discussion wasn't really based on culture, but just always a lack of representation. And for me, like we're more than just a lack of representation here in the United States. We get that. We always will be lack of representation. That will always be the discussion. It's discussed year in and year out. We have a panel at Rev that discusses on that, but it's only one of 3. I wanted to create something that talked about the culture itself. And so when we created Rev Tour, or just Revolucion, it was a 30-day digital program for us to showcase and highlight different stories from our Latinidad. We wrote articles about different subjects concerning our culture, everything from dance to the food. It was an educational kind of exhibition online. We then brought in about 15 different speakers. We had Edward James Olmos. We had creators. We had professionals, people from the workforce. And we hyper-focused on some of the panels. We were the only first ones to introduce Asian Latinidad as a discussion platform. And so we ended up getting Asian Latinos and Latinas who were from the U.S. Or even in South America, Central America, and had them speak about what it was like to be Asian Latino, because there's a big confusion. Sometimes you'll see somebody like that and you'll just, they must be, Taiwanese or Japanese or Chinese, when you don't realize they're Costa Rican or Dominican. They have a dual culture connection. And it was a really big success. We had about 10 million views, throughout our social media platforms and the interviews that we did. And so we did it again the second year. Another successful year of that. That year we started getting sponsors and different for the online version, for like a digital version. And then the last, that same year we decided, let's create just kind of like a small activation, see how it would work. We did pretty well. We had about 65 people there. We had a panel discussion. We did short film presentations. We had, food. We had drinks. And that's when we decided, let's try to make this a little bigger and go in there. And so we went to Downey and we had a conference there. We had a 3-day conference. And then we had...
So what exactly were the conferences about?
We had a gala the first night, which did a representation of Afro-Cuban dance. And then a salsa dance night. We also had different Cuban food and different diverse foods on there. The second day, we did panels on every discussion. So we had panels of representation we had a colorism versus racism panel. We had a mental health awareness panel. We did Latinos in STEM, content creators. So there was a panel for everything, even representation in film, literature. And we had some pretty good names there, like Ida Rodriguez and, some of the big names here in LA. But we sensed like going into this year, that the conference style really wasn't our thing. Like it just didn't feel right. We seemed like we were enclosed. And so we decided to take the really good aspects of what happened in Downey and then the really good aspects of what happened in Connecticut, and we just kind of merged them into one day. So Rev Tour is what you see today, and that is a festival that's taking place. It's on September 20th here in LA, September 27th in San Antonio. During the day, it's a lot of family activities. So we'll have like the panels that we're discussing this year. We're bringing back mental health. So Rompiendo Stigmas is the main is the panel that starts off. We have a quinceañera fashion show that we're going to be doing. There'll be a salsa dance hour. We have another panel with Compassion in Action, which will have Shirla there and a lot of different nonprofits participating in that. And then we'll have a ton of vendors that are going to be available there, and kid activities. So reading activities. Alpha's going to be doing a careers or a superpower type activation. And so there's just a lot going on throughout the day to help promote unity and diversity within our culture. And then at night is what we call the Fuego. And that's when we have our comedians. We have our headliner, La Nueva Ola de Cumbia. They're going to be performing on that night. And so it all just kind of cultivates into one full day of different things that you can take part of. And so that's Rev in a nutshell. That was a lot. Yeah.
Seems like a lot. So you're having that one day in LA, and then you also have another one in San Antonio.
Yeah, we'll be at Gloria Molina Grand Park on September 20th, and then we'll be at the SB in San Antonio.
That's awesome.
So it's a lot of work.
It sounds like a lot of work.
So I'm losing hair.
Uh-huh.
The only thing is I'm not losing weight. So, I would thought that, the anxiety, but it's going the opposite direction. So
It happens. It happens.
So yeah, actually so one of the cool things about it is, we started our campaigns early this year with this particular shirt, which
cool.
is last year. It was last year's shirt, but we never really got to distribute them. But I don't know if they can see it. Yeah, they can see it there. So this is the Yo Soy La Revolución t-shirt. We'll have another one that comes out, kind of a surprise t-shirt coming out this fall. But the Yo Soy La Revolución, it was specifically designed to help people kind of find a way to be a revolution within their own community. Not a protest, not, anything that's a resistance, but finding your own way to revolutionize somebody within that community. And it was an important concept because that revolution is determined by you. Whether you want to learn more about your culture, whether you want to embrace certain aspects of your culture. Right. That's what that meant. It was individualized for everybody who wore that shirt. And then with everything taking place this year, our motto is choosing joy is choosing strength, because it's incredibly exhausting to see what's taking place in the community.
It's exhausting. It's confusing.
Yeah.
People don't know where to start. Like where do you start?
Pain. I mean, they're dealing with a lot of pain. There's a lot of people who are scared.
Right.
And so that's why that term was really important, because it takes strength in these times to show joy.
And it also, it takes a little bit of courage to actually like reach deep down inside, and there's this weird introspection that you have to take place, and you have to like kind of look at your life, your culture from another point of view, and that's hard to do sometimes.
That is, because particularly in my case, I'm extremely empathetic. I look at the news and I'm just like, wow, that is just hurtful. I've never seen anything like that. But at the same token, I'm not the person who is in that situation. And somebody will look at me and say, but you are. And I'm like, no, I'm literally not. It doesn't matter what you're seeing on the news. Me and my family, if they came into a room, they may arrest me, but they're going to send me right back because, I have all kinds of documentation and all kinds of that. So it's just different. And so it's given me the perspective to understand the kind of pain that somebody's going to here in LA. And it lets me empathize more, and it lets me learn more. And I think that that's a growing process that a lot of people are going through at this time. And it doesn't mean that they care less or that they're, more privileged. It just means that their circumstance is different.
Right.
So,
and I think also it's community, because if I wasn't with you and all this stuff was going on and I was just out on my own living my life, I don't think I would have the same perspective of what's going on now alone, and being with you, it would be completely different, because there would be some sort of compassion, but once something like this happens to somebody that you really care about and you really love, it changes drastically.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we reached out, especially during some of the raids that I knew were closer to some of our teammates, where I'm messaging saying, hey, is everything okay over there? Like, and they'll be like, yeah, we're just drinking. No, I'm just kidding. You imagine? But no, there was, our team members for the most part have experienced it. They've seen it firsthand, in front of it. And especially with everything that we do, we make sure that we're a part of the community. So like at Rev Tour, we're the only event here in LA taking place during Hispanic Heritage Month, at least that I know of.
So
That
when is Mexican? What is Latino? What is it?
Hispanic Heritage Month
Hispanic.
is between September 15th through October 15th.
Okay.
That's the
One more time.
September 15th through October 15th.
Okay.
That's Hispanic Heritage Month.
Got it. Okay, so it's September 15th through October 16th. 15th.
Yeah.
So
30,
it's
30 days.
30 days. Gotcha. I wonder why it's.
He's learning.
Those are the days.
I remember it specifically because I remember thinking like why is those dates in between like the months?
Because of the independence of those Central American countries.
Oh, okay, that's what.
And so they were celebrated at that time. Like Mexico's is on the 16th of September. But like Salvador and all the Central American countries, they all have. That's when it was acknowledged for all those.
Gotcha.
So that's where you get Hispanic Heritage Month, technically speaking, even though it has nothing to do with you go to South America, and it's only celebrated here. So that's just the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Cinco de Mayo, right? It's only celebrated
Cinco de Mayo,
here.
yeah. It's an American-made holiday.
Yeah.
So whoever made that was just trying to make. I mean, it's based off of a battle that took place in Mexico.
Yeah.
But it's not like.
Is it like significant at all?
I mean, it was a pretty significant battle, but it wasn't like it's not something to be celebrating, technically speaking.
Yeah, like people don't go and drink and.
Yeah, you go to Mexico, they're not. Yeah, that's a thing here. So yeah, we've Americanized a lot of things. So.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, that's a culture here. Some people are upset about it. Some people confuse it. They think Cinco de Mayo is like Mexican independence.
Yeah. No, we hear it all the time. Even when
you start seeing the post, the day that Cinco de Mayo comes out, everybody puts out the post. This is not our Independence Day. I'm like, I think we've gotten that by now.
Yeah.
I think most people don't even care about the significance at all. They just care. They just treat it like St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's the way they treat it. We did a video where we were walking around. Half the people didn't even understand what Cinco de Mayo was about. So some of them did think it was Mexico Independence Day.
So what is it? So what is it exactly?
I don't know the exact year.
Can you pull it up?
It's the battle. It's what is it? 1868, I think.
Pull it up. We have the
Mexican
whole
battle.
internet right here in front of us. We can look it up. Cinco de Mayo. Because I don't even know what it is. I
Right
know
there.
it was like a
Just
war or a
just
battle
Cinco
or
de Mayo,
something.
Mexico. Let me see if I got my.
Isn't it the Puebla?
Yeah, that's
right?
just gonna. Yeah, I think it's the Puebla, the Battle of Puebla. No, you just gotta go down more probably. Like there you go, the history. There you go, the Battle of Puebla.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I was so
French
close.
forces.
1862. I was so
it says
close.
Cinco de Mayo, which translates to 5th of May, commemorates the Mexican Army's victory over French forces at the Battle of Puebla on May 5th, 1862.
Yep.
So Mexico once was taken over by for the French, so that's when they got their independence and they became an independent country.
They were independent
was
for like
off
20
by-
years and then
I was off
Manifest
by like
Destiny
5 years,
happens.
I think, right? I was off by 5 years. I think I said 1968.
did you?
So I was off by 6 years.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
You guys are learning. You guys are.
Hey, how many Puerto Rican Dominicans do you know
You're
that
right.
could?
You're right. You are right.
I've taken some time, so I got the year wrong because I don't know, for whatever reason I kept thinking 1968, but yeah.
I bet you we would have asked Alex. He wouldn't have known. Huh? Yeah, no. See?
I was like 1800s. That's all I know.
It's just not something that and that's where, like, even as first gen, like, there's a lot of things that we lose that we aren't as like connected to, like, we are connected to our roots but not enough to know like significant like days and things like that, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's weird, like, it's just going back to identity. It's
If I was on the East Coast, I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah.
The only reason I even know that is because I've had the privilege of, coming to LA, speaking to the Mexican community and learning about some of those aspects, especially with what we post every day. So, but yeah, there are stuff in Dominican Republic culture and Puerto Rican culture that I'm still learning.
Yeah.
still trying to catch up on. And so learning history from all sides, it's a privilege to be able to just and every time we post something new, we're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And there's just so much, like history just holds so much around the world. Like it has these like weird trickling effects that, like during like 1862, I'm pretty sure that there was crazy things happening on the East Coast versus, over here.
Yeah. We're a lot more advanced on the West Coast.
Right.
I'm like,
Everyone's like, We had the major cities there.
no, yeah, you guys were the first.
On the East Coast?
We were the first to be colonized.
Colonized.
Yeah.
So
They were a little late.
We were all part of that whole. Before that, the transatlantic.
See, and that's something else that's crazy. It's like people see us, right? Other people that aren't Latino, Hispanic, and they're just like, everyone's Mexican.
That bugs the shit out of me.
See, and I was gonna ask you that, like,
not because of the fact that
No.
the what they're confusing me for, but just the fact that the media has generalized us, and we're not a monolith. So that's one of the main reasons why I created this event, because I wanted people from all sides of Latinidad to kind of get to know each other and to invite press to kind of sit there and go, look, we don't all eat tacos and burritos. Like there are some people eating arroz con gandules and all kinds of stuff from the Caribbean. Yeah. The food is different. The dancing is different. The music is different. Even though it derives from the same type of beats, it's just different. It's evolved. When you listen to Bad Bunny, it's not the same as when you're listening to Peso Pluma.
Yeah.
They're just different. They both mumble bullshit, but no, I'm just kidding. That wasn't. But either they both. He already knows what I feel about Bad Bunny. Love the guy, but I'm just not into the mumble reggaeton. See, look, she's looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No, I don't listen to reggaeton, so
Okay, there
you're
you
good.
What about Bad Bunny, no?
I don't really.
All I know is he shouldn't have been in
Happy Gilmore.
Happy
too.
Gilmore too.
He's
That's
so
all I
mad
know.
that he was in Happy
You
Gilmore.
didn't like him in Happy
That's all
Gilmore
I
too?
know. That's all I know.
Supposedly he made the movie though.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like in the original movie, it wasn't all about the caddy. It was more focused on the story and Adam Sandler, not the caddy.
I think it's because I was a young Adam Sandler. Now Adam Sandler can't do half the stuff that the young
That's
Adam
true.
Sandler
I think
could do.
the only thing is he could have used like another. He should have used a stand-up comedian in playing at that role. It should have been an upcoming
who
younger.
you gonna choose though, like Barbosa or something like that.
He should have gave a younger comedian the chance, at least in his movie.
Oh, but that wouldn't have brought in that type of
Exactly. So I get why he did it.
Yeah.
He was looking at it from.
To be fair, Bad Bunny, kind of everything that he touches strikes gold.
Yeah. Which is crazy. I don't know why. Like, how does that happen?
It's just, look.
What is it?
Say what you say about his music, whether you like it, don't like it.
Yeah.
But there are certain things about the way Bad Bunny has marketed himself that he's become infamous.
Yeah.
When you look at everything he touches, he goes to WWE, he becomes one of the best celebrity wrestlers to ever do it. And it's because he goes 100% on everything that he does. So even with the acting, his just personality is just really great. You saw him on Saturday Night Live. He takes over that show. You see him when he does, night TV or like those night shows. He takes over.
He did Saturday Night Live. He hosted it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He's done it. He's hosted it once, and I think he's been musical guest a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
He transcends cultura, and then he does it for his community. It's not like he's doing it for the sake of like you see him now with what he's doing in Puerto Rico. He's bringing over $200 million in hotel revenues alone.
Wow.
Just for that being in, you know what I'm saying? So there is somebody that when people look at, with the exception of the time when he was with the Kardashian.
I was gonna say that's when I just like.
Yeah, everybody was kind of jumping on that, and then guess what happened? He still survived through that just because. And people are like, oh, we're gonna boycott concerts. No, they were still going.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they were still going.
I think the whole thing with that was just like he preaches so much for your culture and everything, and then he goes and he's with like
it's a Kardashian though. Come on,
they're like the biggest like culture vultures in and it's just kind of like.
But he's running out of he's running out of levels to kind of hit at like who's he gonna go? Cardi B.
You should be with Donald
No.
Trump.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's his next move.
but he's just one of those. He's just one of those people that has kind of like Karol G and Becky G and some of the people who have done it on there. Gabriel Iglesias, like
Yeah.
they just transcend culture.
Yeah.
And he's now to the point where everybody's his platform.
Yeah.
He's not just a Latino singer. He's like he's
Like
cultural.
everybody, like
Everybody finds him, a person of interest. And
Right.
that's almost like what's her name?
Jennifer Lopez.
No, not even J-Lo. I
Oh.
think honestly
It's
J-Lo
kind of like Michael Jackson, right? Like Michael Jackson.
I think
Everybody
a little bit
knew.
more because Michael Jackson wasn't in like the WWE.
Movies,
He
true.
wasn't. He didn't do
yeah,
Saturday
but
Night
Michael
Live.
was global. Like Mike,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like he
Michael's
was
a-
like global, and I feel like Bad Bunny is global. Like,
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, Bad Bunny's global.
I have no
You don't break Spotify that many times because people are not listening,
That's true.
to the stuff. Because I mean, if Bad Bunny started a podcast, he would be the most listened to podcast of all podcasts. I
Yeah.
feel like he would pass Joe Rogan and everybody else, just because he's genuinely funny.
Mhm.
Like just the way he talks gets people to laugh all the time. That's one of the reasons why Happy Gilmore 2 was even worth watching, is because he was so silly in that movie that it took away from having to deal with the nostalgia of the
Right.
movie. Because you knew it wasn't going to match the nostalgia of the first one, but you throw Bad Bunny in there to be silly. It adds one, culture, representation. Two, it adds somebody who's just got a really cool persona to kind of go in there. But yeah, he transcends. Like, and I was trying to think of Taylor Swift.
Oh, Taylor Swift.
That's who I was thinking about. Like, he may not be at from a monetary standpoint, but from a global standpoint, he's destroying her in Spotify and all these other platforms. She just has a huge fan base.
Yeah.
But then again, this brother was dishing out concerts where tickets were like the size of mortgage payments, like, and people were paying.
That's crazy.
Shit, I
to
can't
me.
get people to pay $15 for Rev.
See, and that's where that's like I'm not again. I'm neutral on the Bad Bunny, right? I'm not gonna be like but I'm not gonna diss him either.
Oh yeah,
you know?
no,
I'm-
there's no. You can not like an artist and respect the
yeah,
game.
absolutely.
Like there are a lot of people who shit on J-Lo all the time. You gotta respect
No,
J-Lo.
but she did. She
Yeah,
came
J-Lo
from, like,
was
yeah,
bro. J-Lo was a fly girl on In Living Color,
yeah,
and she is now one of the most renowned Latinas. I don't care whether you consider her Latina
Yeah.
enough. It doesn't matter. She is at that level, and there is nobody next to her at that level because it's a lot bigger than Karol G and Becky G. Like J-Lo transcends music and movies, and she's got a line. She's got this. She's got, she's like the Mariah Carey for Latinos. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's just different.
So how do we get like? Because kind of going back to what you're saying, where you're like, you can't even get people to buy tickets to an event. No, but where I'm gonna get with this is that when we first opened like our coffee shop, we were like, are we a little too expensive for our community? What's going on? Like, we're trying to match, where we were at and everything, but still, be true to what our products were and things like that. And what I mean in Spanish, they always say like, el peor enemigo de un mexicano es un mexicano, like pretty much saying like, like the enemy of like a Mexican is always going to be like another Mexican, right?
Mexican?
Which isn't like another, and I guess I could put it in like enemy of a Latino is always another Latino, right? And we had a lot of support, immense support, more than we ever imagined. But then we had those people that were like, who do you think you are? You're selling your culture. Oh, I'm not going to pay $5 for a coffee. All these things, right?
The same people who go to Starbucks and get a
Exactly.
mocha frap for $7.95.
Exactly. So here's where I'm trying to get with this, with us, and even like with the event. Like, how do we get our community, our own people, to see that we're trying to create these areas, these spaces, these environments for us? Like, how do we get people to come and actually support? But then they're so fast to go and support something else that's like nothing to do with.
If you want to look at that concept, you'll look at that concept. All you have to do is look at film. So, for instance, we'll go with Blue Beetle or Encanto. Oh, don't get me started on Encanto. Oh, I was so mad. When Encanto first came out, first of all, it wasn't advertised well or marketed well by Disney. And so what ended up happening with Encanto is it got lost in the mix because people were just getting rid of a second wave of COVID that was taking place. Encanto didn't become popular or known by anybody until it became a TikTok sensation when people started singing some of the music from that and started getting to relate to what the actual messaging of the film was, which had so many different layers of our ancestry, of our family makeup, of our family dynamic. Those same people didn't go to the movie theaters. And so it took that TikTok to even make Encanto what it hit. Now, all of a sudden, the music's being played on the radio and this and that because it became really popular. However, all those same people who were scared had no problem going to Spider-Man No Way Home. That shit blew up, $1 billion. And that bothers me. And the reason being is I think there's a misconception within our community. First of all, if you're a promoter like I am, nobody's trying to like rip off anybody. If you got Becky G in your lineup as a promoter, she's going to come in at $100K off the bat. Unless you have some type of agreement with ticket sales and all kinds of stuff. Gabriel Iglesias' private event fee is like $100K. So it costs money to bring these people to the forefront for you to watch them. And so if you're putting on a festival that has Becky G, Karol G, all these different acts, it's costing them a lot of money to be able to put that programming to bring you in to where you don't have to pay, 3 lifetimes amount of money to see them all on one day. But they obviously think that, it's just too expensive. Well, it's expensive because we have expensive artists on there. So the alternative is like what we do with Rev. We use local community. So our local community is what dictates how we run this event. Our performers are local community. Our speakers are from the local community. We don't bring nobody in from another side to come and speak. The people from LA speak with the people in LA. And so our ticket price is based off of how much is the event going to cost us to put on. That means the venue, the having the toilets, the porta potties, having the vendors' tents, having all of the different signage and all kinds of stuff, the stage, the sound, all that costs money. It's not like you can shit it out of your ass. Like it costs money.
Yeah.
So you have an event that for you may be like the smallest event in the world, but the stage and the sound alone cost $20,000 because the person who's doing that isn't going to give it for free. So even if you get sponsors, you still have to try to recoup that money so that you can do it for the next event. So we have like 3 different stages or 2 different stages of a ticket price. It's $15 for you to spend most of the day with us. And I think right now we have like a buy one, get one free. So technically it's $15 for you and your friend to come and spend all the way up to like 6 p.m. And then if you want to hang out with us through the night, like, from an extended from like 7 to 10, then you're buying the Fuego night. And then I think it's like $20 more. But that goes to what we're doing, which is we're not just paying for the event. We're supporting 3 nonprofits with Revolucion. So we're supporting Shirla. We're supporting Human Rights First. We're supporting the Andres and Maria Family Cardenas Foundation, which supports our Latino students with scholarships. That's where the majority of the money is going. If we have anything left over, it goes to San Antonio. Or it goes back to something some other project that we do. Like Alex and I, we do premieres for underrepresented filmmakers. And those events cost easily $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. We don't get enough sponsorships. And even the ticket sales, because we have to keep it low cost, we sell out those events, but we only get about $2,000, $3,000 in ticket sales, plus another $2,000 overhead. So for us to have an extravagant like premiere, it's going to cost us $2,000 overhead. If we don't get a sponsor, we eat that for the sake of community. And that's the misconception that people... So when you don't support something, all you're doing is hurting the community in essence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. So when you don't support film, you're hurting the ability for Hollywood to say, well, that was a risk and we lost. So people must not be interested in that. And so when they say that, and then you got people on social media. It's like, oh, there's lack of representation. No, there's a lack of support. That's a huge thing. There's a lot of opportunities for you to be a part of the representation. You're just not supporting.
Absolutely.
And that's the problem that we have. That's one of the things that we've dealt with throughout the years is everybody wants us to be able to showcase this and do this stuff, but nobody wants to support. We stopped the Something Latino magazine because we just couldn't get support for that magazine. And so everybody's like, oh, why is it shutting down? There's no support. Who in their right mind is going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again when somebody else is not flipping the bill? You know what I mean? Like, so for us, we always give back to the community, and it's a big part of what we do. We could easily say, you know what, we're not going to support these nonprofits, and we'll keep all the money to ourselves, and I'll take out my team to go have burgers right after the thing and call it a day. But that's not the case. We need ticket sales. We need support. We need people there because not only does it help us pay for the programming that we spend a year to put together, but it also helps fundraise for these nonprofit organizations to do amazing work in our community. And I talk a lot. That's why my slogan was talking way too much for the Latin Babbler show. It's like 80% of this podcast was me talking shit.
Well, you make a good point. I never really thought of it that way of the whole support thing.
Blue Beetle was above mid.
It did a little bit better than Encanto.
No, I mean from a visual perspective, it was a good movie. George Lopez did.
Oh yeah, it was a really good movie.
We
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
But it flopped in the movie theaters. People just didn't go.
I wonder why.
Well, the funny part is you obviously have that whole issue with like, oh, we're not going to watch Latinos. It's a Latino superhero. But 38% of the total audience for Super Mario Brothers was from the Latino community.
But why? What is happening?
Did they reveal that he's a Latino character?
I don't know.
At the beginning?
He's
I mean, he's
Italian, no?
always.
I think they should not reveal it. They should just reveal it inside the movie.
Who are you talking about?
I'm just saying, like, if we're gonna have a main Latino character, we should just reveal it in the movie, not
Well,
even
you
market
can't,
it like that.
Blue Beetle, you know who was the front.
Right, but I'm saying, like, keep the mask on him.
It's a little hard from an Inception story.
Yeah?
You got to build a character.
That's true. Well,
You know what I'm
it could be mysterious.
You might be right if you create a script where you can get away with that. But in the age of superheroes, they need storylines. You need to know who you're gonna fall in love with, and they just didn't fall in love with the concept.
What about
People
a kid?
didn't go. It's not like they didn't even fall in love with the concept.
Right.
They just didn't go.
That's true.
It's the same with Encanto. They just didn't go. And then all the people who were bitching about representation also didn't go to Encanto. I saw it in the movie theaters. And I got blessed to go see Blue Beetle with the director because he was holding a premiere.
Oh, cool.
And so, I was able to support through that way. But even now, like, I must have seen it 3 or 4 times on streaming platforms just to support the download because, for me, it was entertaining. But nobody gave it a shot. And it's like that with short films, major films, books. Latinos write books. We don't buy them. Maybe just we don't like to read. But we'll spend $2,000 on a concert. Or we'll spend, $400, $500, $600 on Coachella. Half the bands aren't even Latino. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand that because it bothers me from a sense of like, we are 20% of the population, and in LA alone, where 65% of the Hispanic community here, is, or at least 40% of all of LA is Latino.
Maybe it's because we're not used to it.
I don't know. I don't have it. That's one thing about LA that I don't have an answer for.
I feel like it's part of our identity crisis.
I think. God, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get butchered for it.
It's okay.
LA is lacking in a specific type of culture. You guys are your culture is very much surrounded by protest and a lot of that side of it, or exclusivity to just Mexican culture. Anything different is kind of, we don't know, can we trust that? type of deal. It's not that they're like, against it, but they're just, kind of trying to figure out if that's even something I want to mix in.
Yeah.
But yeah, LA is very, it's different. And on the east side, you see us doing festivals on the street every other fucking day. Like it's just happening. All the events that were canceled here in LA because of the scares and the raids and stuff like that. That didn't happen in New York. They were throwing Puerto Rican festivals, Dominican, Colombian festivals. They don't care. You're not gonna stop their joy.
Yeah.
That's the way they see it. But here it's just different because of the experiences you guys have. It's just different.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more trauma that we have
Very
here
much so.
that we're carrying, and it stops us from. Sometimes it stops us from doing what we're doing, and even like going back to like I guess we can even go back to, people that stop speaking. We talk about this often, like people that stop speaking Spanish here because they were reprimanded for in schools. Like my parents remember, and my parents aren't that old. And, we know people that are like, no, we used to get hit at school if we spoke any Spanish. So what I'm getting at is that there's a lot of like identity crisis within, I feel like, the Latino community. And it's still very, very much so fresh that I don't know if that's something that is still very new to us is kind of having these spaces and having these things that are there for us, and we're just not used to having, and it's something new. You know what I'm trying to say?
I mean,
like,
look, Besame Mucho had to cancel their event here.
yeah.
For whatever the reason, I can guarantee you it's because they were lacking ticket sales in Dodger Stadium. And then they blamed it on the Shakira thing. But I guarantee you it's because they weren't able to sell out.
Wait,
that
they
festival.
canceled that? They canceled that festival?
Yeah, they can't. It was supposed to come to LA. They continued. They had a blast in Austin. Like it did really well in Austin. Our event's doing, really well in San Antonio. So it's just one of those things where it's like we're trying to figure out like what's the best approach to come into LA. Especially with the messaging that we have, which is very inclusive, diversity, and celebration.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to bring that message when everything LA is experiencing is pain and suffering, And so that response to that pain and suffering is always protest or some type of way of fighting back. And this is a festival where we're not trying to fight back. The way we're doing it is by proving to those people who are causing us pain that we're resilient above that pain, and we're expressing celebration for our cultura. And for some people, that may be like, oh, you're disconnected. And for some people, we're like, no, this is, we have the backing of Sherla. We have the backing of all these different nonprofits. Yeah. We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't get the approval from Sherla or anything like that. They'll be on site. We have attorneys that are going to be on site.
What is Sherla?
The coalition of, hold on, I don't want to get it wrong because they just changed it. So the coalition of humane, hold on. How do you, what's the best way of saying that? Because it's not Los Angeles anymore.
Oh, they changed it.
They removed the Los Angeles part. So Sherla is the coalition of humane immigrant rights. Right?
Yeah.
Can you pull that up? Oh, it's with the C.
Yeah, Sherla.
Oh, okay.
So it's a coalition of humane immigrant rights. Yeah. Took me a bit to get there because I used to say the Los Angeles part and then they shut me down like in an email.
An organization founded in 1986 of advocates for the rights of immigrants by providing legal services, promoting public education, and lobbying for policies to ensure fair and humane treatment for immigrant communities in the United States.
Yeah, it's probably the largest immigration organization in the U.S.
Yeah.
Like Alex Padilla and all that, they work together really hard to change policy. They're the ones who are leading the charge in all the lawsuits that you're seeing, fighting the administration and making sure that we're not being targeted just because of the color of our skin and, some of that stuff. So they will be at the event. They have attorneys that are going to be at the event.
Well, there's the piece of, I guess, what you're talking about, how like most of LA is deep rooted into this resistant culture, this fight back culture. I mean, that's it right there.
And we were partnered with Sherla before the raids hit.
Yeah.
We just wanted to give back to a program that helped with immigrant rights and
Yeah.
resources. And then Human Rights First, the reason I'm giving back to that organization is they have a specific fund that is dedicated to immigrants who have going through hard times. So like in need of food, in need of clothing. And a lot of that is dear to my heart because my kids and I, we were homeless or in transitional housing for like a period of 8 to 9 months. And so we know what it was like once we got out of that, you know, to get the type of assistance that we needed in order to get us back on our feet. And so for us, you know, 10%, I think, or 10 or 20 goes to that specific organization. We're giving about 50% of the ticket to organizations.
Yeah.
So it's a fundraiser for those who are trying to figure out, you know, oh, do we put our money into Rev Tour? The answer is yes. You're going to be giving back to 3 amazing organizations. Aside from that,
Yeah. See, and I think what you said is like sitting deep in me, right? Because I didn't think I never thought of LA like that, like of us. I think we're always on like flight mode, right? Because of just everything that happens.
yeah.
So right now that you like put into perspective, I'm like, oh shit, like you're right, you know.
I mean, I hit you with I hit you in the heart with something that's. I mean, it is.
And it's
very
not
connected.
bad. It's nothing bad. Like I'm not like, oh,
Yeah, you go to Miami,
No.
the Cubans there. Oh my God! Mention Fidel.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
No,
Like
I know.
it is insane. Rallies will show up
Yeah.
and all kind. It is just like, you know, there's a certain part of
Yeah.
a part of us that is always on the defensive about you know
Yeah.
a certain side. In LA, especially the Latinos in LA, because of the way they're treated and the way they're targeted, they're always in like a defense.
I think
you know,
we've
mode.
just always been taught to assimilate is the thing, because a lot of like us or like first gen or even just, you know, people in our family, it's assimilate, you know, speak English, do what, you know, white people do, fit in.
We've all went through that. I did the same thing
Yeah.
with my kids.
But I think that it's still very much so within our culture. It's still very much so within our communities.
Yeah.
Yes, we're proud to be Latinos, we're proud to be Mexican, but there's still that piece that's like, don't be too loud. Don't do this
Oh,
too
LA is
much.
loud.
Don't, you know. But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
loud in the sense of like, you know, like showing who you
What's
really
that? What's
are.
that line?
and, like,
What is it? The Los Calladitos. What is it?
o calladita te ves
Yeah,
like
más bonito, whatever
yeah.
the hell it is. Yeah, I never met that phrase until I got here.
Yeah.
And so here, like everybody uses it, you know, all the time in order to describe. But I've learned that culture here,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm trying to switch a little bit of that culture because in the long run, you know, we can be angry all we want. You know, we need to be able to show some type of joy in essence of what's going through in order to tell people, look, you can beat us down all you want, but at the end of the day, we're standing up. Our ancestors did it. You know, the people who raised us did it. You know, they all had to go through that point. And so, yeah, it's an important event for us just because of the fact that we're really putting back. It's our way of really giving back to the community without just saying, hey, here's a fundraiser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
That's
So buy
exciting.
Your tickets. Go.
Yeah. And what is this? When is this again?
you ask me one more time.
September 20.
Just kidding. He's like, what?
And when is
So you got
Hispanic
September,
Heritage?
you got September 20th and then the September 27th. So if you go to our Instagram account, it's a fairly new Instagram
It's
account.
happening in Los Angeles and Houston.
Yeah.
Right.
So downtown LA, you know, they told us that
San
for those
Antonio.
Latinos, like I'm gonna look straight into the camera. You told me Downey was too far last year.
Downey was too far.
So we decided to put it in the most central spot that you can think of, right in the heart of LA, in downtown. So no tienes excusas. You know, you can't now turn around and say, oh, it's because of this. No, you have the security you need. You have the area that you need. You know, we got something for everybody. And so, you know, go follow us on Instagram. It's Rev Tour. And get the tickets because
They were telling you that Downey was too far.
yeah, all the
All the LA people.
yeah, all the LA people. I was gonna say this. all the people who were like, I can't travel more than 20 miles, or you know, it's too far down.
Right.
Meanwhile, they go to. Some of them are in Colorado right now doing a festival. And so I don't know. That seemed far to me. Cost a plane ticket and everything. But yeah, downtown LA, we made it as about centered as possible. It's anybody from anywhere can flock to the city. If you can do it for your parking tickets, you can definitely do it for rent.
Rafa, thanks for coming out and doing the podcast, man. I really appreciate it.
No, this is great. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Go ahead and tell us where we can find you guys and what you got coming up.
So we got Rev Tour. That's the Instagram account. You can find me at Latin Babbler. That account's really boring, but sometimes I put most of my updates there. And then you can follow us in total at Todo Wafi.
So what does Todo Wafi mean?
Actually, it means everything Wafi, and the reason that we called it Wafi is because my brother, who lives with paranoid schizophrenia,
Okay.
my name is Rafael, and when I was younger, it was called Rafi, and so he turned around and he couldn't say the R, and he said it with a W, so it's kind of a dedication to my brother.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then these are all your other, or the ones that were on the.
Yes.
So something Latino.
You got something Latina.
All right. I'm gonna do a deep dive tonight. Pets too?
Yeah, that was
Latino pets?
I like that.
What? That's awesome. If you're listening on Spotify, we're looking at all the pages. So go down to the show description and
That's our
click
biggest
on
one.
all of them. We're all primos.
That's all Mexican culture.
Nice. I seen pan dulce on there, tacos, Pedro.
That's our humor account. We spend like if you're having a rough day, you go to We're All Primos, and that'll lighten you up real quick.
Nothing better than
We've
looking
had
at
people
some
tell us,
tacos.
look, I go home, I've had a very rough day, and the minute I open up that account, like it helps me out. Like,
That's what
helps
it's all
me get-
about.
Yeah.
It's all about. Well, Rafa, thanks for coming out and doing the podcast.
No, I appreciate it. This was
Really
great.
appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm sorry I talked so much.
No, you're good.
Oh, that's what the podcast is for, to talk.
Yeah, but I feel like I swallowed everybody.
No.
The Mind Buzz Podcast.